I've set an absolutely crazy goal in my life, I've done quite a bad job of understanding exactly how much time it takes to make that thing a reality. We underestimate what we can get done in 5 years, and we vastly overestimate what we can get done in 1 year. But the key really is to plan for 5 to 10 years so that things actually make sense in context. I mean, delayed gratification is a sign of maturity as much as it is a realistic and efficient way to go about living life. And the reason is because ideally we live 10 years longer. But in order to have goals that are that big, that are actually that satisfying, we really need to think about what it is that we do with our time and what it is that makes us excited about life. And just the process of starting to think about that stuff is so essential in building something of use, of substance to humanity. Hopefully the people watching this channel and consistently engaging with these videos understand that it's going to take quite a bit of effort and consistency and change. It's going to take a lot of change in order to get to a place where we can actually say not only that we're doing that thing that we've planned to do, but that we've accomplished major landmarks, major checkpoints in making that thing a sustainable reality. So one of the things that I think about a lot when I'm thinking about these longer term goals is, why create something that's going to only last as long as I'm around? And young leaders, we make this mistake often in not creating something that's sustainable. Sustainability itself is actually a hallmark of something that has value. So when, for instance, if you're a business owner and you're looking to have equity in a company and you're looking to eventually exit out of that company to liquefy your equity so that you can live and enjoy your older years, a company that doesn't have sustainability, meaning it doesn't have the correct systems in place to make sure that a single individual not being present doesn't destroy the entire operation of the company, whether it be the CEO or whether it be a biller, or if it's some essential position, there should be redundancy in the system, in that there should be other people that know how to do that job should that person not be able to be there. Setting everything up in life like that is not always possible, but it is the desired outcome in order to make things that are actually more valuable innately and just financially speaking. So that type of thought process, I mean, I'm in charge of the systems and operations of quite a small dental practice. It only has 4 operatories, soon to be 5. We gross about $3 million a year. I think the most that we made in 1 month was like 296. And I want to take that number to 350, 400 in the next 6 months. And what I realized is that the only way to really do that is if I can concentrate heavily on more operations. But the only way to make operations a reality is if the systems are just so hardcore and so in place and so understood that I have time to work on the business rather than in the business. And so my first glance through, I'm immediately thinking about how do I quickly put together systems that work? Well, the obvious solution is to model something that has worked before. And so I've joined the Cardone Ventures school of thought. I've joined the 10X school of thought. And I'm going to learn from these guys in the next couple of months, probably years to come, on how to create sustainable systems so that I can be of more use to my society and ideally make more money for myself and all of the people that I represent, all the people that rely on me to be the best that I possibly can be. And that's kind of the beauty of making things and thinking about things long term, is hopefully there's an aspect of virtue in what we're trying to achieve. Hopefully it's not just about our own hedonistic desires. Hopefully there's a slightly bigger objective around, and having goals that you set out for 10 years, or 5 years, it almost requires a larger scope. Whereas if we set a goal for tomorrow, we can very easily just keep setting goals for tomorrow and only think about ourselves. So I think the people that really make the difference in society, really spend the time and do the work, are the ones that understand that things take time by virtue of requiring people, requiring trust to move something forward. And it's an organic system, So just remember, we overestimate what we can get done in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can get done in 5. Why is that? Because consistency stacks. Consistency accumulates. All of our wins, if we're being strategic about it, all of our wins stack on top of each other and make the next win even more substantial. But it takes time. And it takes a commitment to a longer term goal, which many of us in society do not spend the time, the effort to carve out those goals. So a part of what I'm learning at Cardone Ventures and 10x 360 is gearing your entire environment towards that philosophy, an entire company, and ideally a whole consortium of companies that deal with that same philosophy of personal, professional, financial goals 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years out. And when every single part of the system understands their personal goals and ideals, the system actually ends up being more efficient, and their wins stack on top of one another and makes the company move forward faster. So that's kind of the philosophy that I'm taking on, and it requires meetings consistently and holding people accountable to that type of system. And the beautiful part about it is, I don't know, right? I haven't ever employed this system before, but I know that people that I aspire to be like have successfully used this system and still do. And so rather than staying the same and being lost in the chaos, I am going to apply it until it works, and then figure out the next equation. Furthermore, the average millionaire learns 18 skills a year, new skills a year. And so I'm not satisfied with just building an amazing business and having a social life. I also want to learn other skills that are going to make that business and any other business that I'm a part of more efficient and useful. So I'm learning marketing right now by virtue of volunteering my time to someone, again, that has been successful time and time again, who's worth more than I am, but needs an intelligent person around to push an effort forward. And so I say to you, think longer term, really just spend the half an hour it takes to establish what it is that you really want to do in this life in the next 5-10 years. And then if you want to take it further, once that starts to succeed in 2 or 3 years, again, it's a long period of time. If you think you're going to get it in the next couple of days, it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that you can't feel quite good about yourself in the next couple of days if you change a couple habits around and talk to a couple cool people, listen to a couple cool things, change your environment a little. But what I wanted to say is, once we get to a point where we can hit those goals, then it becomes, how quickly can I hit those goals? How can I do this bigger, faster, and better than I'm doing it already? And so what that requires is taking those 10-year goals and making them take less time. So Elon Musk knows how to do this. He's a master at it. He takes things that other people would deem takes lifetimes or is impossible, breaks it down into 10 years, and then figures out how you can do it in 2. So now that, if anything, is an equation to strive for in terms of being a useful member of society and a leader, and I guess spiritually relevant to the world. Something to think about. But it takes a time. It takes a lot of time. It's still, the minimum is still 2 years. It's not months, it's not weeks, it's not days, right? So breaking up life into larger chunks, in my belief, is the first step to actually achieving substantial things and leaving a legacy behind, or actually affecting people in a useful way as a human being. Food for thought. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself.